Welcome new players to my MechWarrior Online guide series. Today we're going to look at the differences between Inner Sphere Battle Mech construction and Clan Omnimax construction in the Mech Lab. So let's dive right in, shall we? For comparison, we're going to choose two mechs that weigh the exact same. The Inner Sphere Shadowhawk, which weighs 55 tons, and the Clan Stormcrow, which also weighs 55 tons. I'm going to look at the Clan Stormcrow first, because clan mechs have less customization options and therefore are simpler to learn. Now, the distinguishing factor of clan Omnimax is that, one, you are locked into your upgrades here. You cannot change them except for Artemis. For your missile hardpoints, you can upgrade to Artemis. However, Pharaoh, double heat sinks, and Endo are locked. If your clan mech comes with Pharaoh, it will always have Pharaoh. You cannot downgrade to standard to free up additional internal structure. And the same for Endo. However, double heat sinks are nothing to detract from really, because they are in every way, shape, and form better than single heat sinks. And clan double heat sinks are also better than Inner Sphere double heat sinks because they take 2 slots instead of 3. Now that we've covered that, I want to get into what makes clan Omnimax. Essentially, outside of the center torso, Omnipod, you can change any part of a clan mech to carry the hardpoints that you want. So head, torso, arms, legs. If you don't like the hardpoints that it's carrying, you can change them. Now I'll show you a quick example of that. Say we don't like that it has a laser in the left torso here for our build. We don't like it. We want something a little bit more closer range. We're going to go over to the Omnipods tab in the warehouse. Select the Stormcrow D, left torso, drag it in, then we go to the weapon slot under warehouse. We choose the Clan SRM6, we equip 2 of them. Bam. Just like that, you changed what weapon hardpoints your mech is carrying. Now, we're going to go back to the Shadowhawk so I can point out the difference of Inner Sphere Battle Mechs. Okay, so here's our Shadowhawk. It has 3 missile slots here. Head, right torso, center torso. These can never be changed. If we try to drag them off, nothing happens. The hardpoints that each Inner Sphere Battle Mech comes with are the hardpoints that it carries. Can't change them. However, Inner Sphere Battle Mechs do have one good thing going for them. You can change standard armor to ferrofibrous and standard structure to endo steel, as well as standard heat sinks to double heat sinks. All of this is customizable, as is the addition of Artemis, as I mentioned previously. So another difference that I need to highlight at this point is that although the Inner Sphere is capable of having the same weight saving and heat dissipation upgrades as the clans, theirs are more costly in terms of the critical slots that they occupy. For example, the heat sinks, as I've already mentioned, clan double heat sinks take 2 slots, whereas Inner Sphere double heat sinks, as you can see, take up 3. So that's a drawback. In addition, endo steel and ferrofibrous for Inner Sphere mechs cost 14 critical slots, whereas for the clans they only cost 7. Another thing that Inner Sphere Battle Mechs can do that Clan Omnimax cannot do is equip jump jets. A lot of Inner Sphere Battle Mechs come with the ability to mount jump jets, and it's up to you whether you want to go with them or not. Clan Omnimax, on the other hand, a lot of them have hard-locked jump jets. If it comes with jump jets, you have to play with jump jets. You can't strip them off to save weight and either get more heat sinks or weapons or whatever you want. You're locked in. And that's essentially the biggest difference between the building of Inner Sphere Battle Mechs versus Clan Omnimax. One is very customizable, to the point of being fully customizable. I mean, you can even change out the engine on an Inner Sphere Battle Mech, whereas Clan Mechs are locked into their engines. You can never change them. But Inner Sphere Battle Mechs, you can choose any size engine. You can go with XL 110 and have a really slow Shadowhawk that carries a lot of big weapons but hardly moves at all. Or, for example, you could put like a huge XL in it, like a 340, and just zoom around the battlefield, but carry less in weapons. It's it takes time really to master the art of building Inner Sphere battle mechs, I find it more engaging and fun to build them personally because they are so customizable. You can make the build suit your playstyle almost perfectly. Whereas with Clan Omnimax, they're a lot more generalized, easier to build, but not quite as good as filling the niche that you want to build them for. But, it's kind of offset by the next thing I want to talk about, which is the difference between Inner Sphere tech versus Clan tech. And essentially, what it comes down to is Clan tech is just plain better in most ways. I want to take a look here at the. We're going to compare apples to apples for a minute. The Inner Sphere Ultra Autocannon 5 weighs 9 tons and takes up 5 critical slots. We're going to go back to the Stormcrow. And check out what the Clan UAC 5 goes for. Wow. 3 slots, 7 tons. So you're saving 2 critical slots and 2 tons on Clan Tech. The weapon system does the same amount of damage, but less critical slots are being used up to carry it, as well as less tonnage. However, there's an important distinction to point out here, in that Clan ballistics fire in salvos, whereas Inner Sphere ballistics fire single slugs. Now, there are pros and cons to each. Inner Sphere, because they fire one single slug, it's much more pinpoint damage. Like, it doesn't spread. If your enemy's trying to rotate his torso or shield with his arms, and you get your shot off quickly before he gets fully shielded and rotated, it's the enemy mech's going to eat that full damage. But Clan autocannons and ballistics, with the exception of the Gauss rifle, which acts the same on the Inner Sphere and Clan side, it fires one single Cobalt slug for 15 points of damage. But on the Clan side, they fire in salvos, so whereas Inner Sphere might be able to just drill 5 points of damage into you with a single shot on one component location. If you're fighting a fast mech that has good torso twist ability, you may end up spreading your damage not just on the component you're shooting for, but also on like the left torso and then the left arm instead of the center torso, because they fire in volleys. However, there's once again it's not always a cut and dry. This is better. This is worse. That's what makes this game so engaging. Because they fire in salvos, Clan autocannons are a lot better for suppressing enemies. Once you start getting your cockpit rattled by the impacts of multiple ballistics, it's much harder to aim. So there's pros and cons to each of them, but generally speaking, Inner Sphere weaponry is inferior. But anyway, so for the ballistics, Clan and Inner Sphere ballistics do the same amount of damage in a little bit different manner, but Clans take less crits and weigh less. Now, we're going to move on to the energy weapons. Energy weapons are a similar story. Clan weapons have longer range. They do more damage. However, there's a trade-off. They also build more heat and have longer durations. So, once again, there's a greater potential to spread your damage with Clan weapons, and they run hotter as a trade-off for the extra range that they carry. Generally speaking, the weights on energy-based weapons are actually the same between the Clan and Inner Sphere, with the exception of the large energy-based weapons. For example, the ERPPC for the Inner Sphere side will weigh 7 tons, and I think it occupies 3 critical slots, whereas it only takes 2 critical slots for Clan side, and 6 tons. Large pulse lasers, it's a similar story. Clans weigh 6 tons, and Inner Sphere weigh 7 tons. I think the slots are also +1 for Inner Sphere on that category. But as you get into the smaller energy-based weapons, the medium pulse lasers, they both weigh 2 tons and take up 1 critical slot for both sides. Same thing for the small pulse laser. Weighs 1 ton on both sides. ER large laser, once again, bumping up to the large category, there's a difference. Clans weigh 4 tons, Inner Sphere weighs 5. But as you get into the smaller ones, medium lasers 1 ton, and small lasers 1 ton. There's another distinction at the very tail end of this, where Clan flamers weigh half ton, Inner Sphere flamers weigh 1 ton, and targeting acquisition guidance laser weighs 1 ton for each side. And we're going to change the left side torso real quick and equip some missiles so I can point out another difference. Clan missiles weigh half the weight of Inner Sphere missiles. So a Clan SRM-6 weighs 1.5 tons, whereas an Inner Sphere SRM-6 weighs 3 tons. Inner Sphere missiles, um, it, when it comes to LRMs, they have a faster recharge time or reload time as a way of kind of balancing them out. And for SRMs, Inner Sphere weapons have a little bit tighter spread to begin with. So that's something that PGI put in, trying to balance out the disparity in tonnage that the advantage that the clans have there. So there's a little bit of pros and cons, but like I said, generally speaking, clan tech is just straight up better. So I think more or less that covered all of the differences between Clan Omnimax and Inner Sphere Battlemechs. My suggestion is, as a new player, honestly stick with Clan Mechs for the beginning. Their engines are locked in, their upgrades are locked in, and you can just focus on what weapon systems you want to carry, whether it's like all lasers, ballistics, or missiles, or a mixed loadout. You can just focus on making sure you're bringing the weapons that you want and feel comfortable using on the battlefield. And you don't have to worry so much about the really nuanced construction rules that Inner Sphere Battlemechs have to face. But once you feel comfortable and you have experience and you understand your playstyle, your strengths and weaknesses as a player, Inner Sphere Battlemechs can be a lot of fun because they're so customizable. You can tailor them to suit exactly your playstyle, and there's a lot to be said for efficiency when you're playing something that you're comfortable with versus something that you're not really comfortable with. So that's something to keep in mind. Yeah, I think that covered just about everything that I had on my list. I hope you guys enjoyed this guide on the differences between Inner Sphere Battlemechs and Clan Omnimax. And good luck, have fun out there, and I'll see you on the battlefield, Mech Warriors. Bye.